Hi, this is Todd Olthoff from toddolthoff.com, coming back at you with another screencast. In this week, we're going to take a look at how to set up Profile Manager in Mojave Server. Now, again, in my previous screencast, I showed you how to do the new installation of Mojave Server. And as you can see, if you haven't seen that screencast, you probably want to take a look at it because I did a real quick overview of the things that are present and the things that are missing. What you'll notice if you've used previous versions of Server, again, is that the only service available is Profile Manager. There are some other advanced services that are hidden, but we'll take a look at those as we go through the process here. So what I'm going to do is just walk you through how to set up Profile Manager. You can see right now it's offline. That's because I don't have the service on, as you can see over here. I've got an area for editing permissions, and again, this is setting up the firewall. If I just click on Edit Permissions, you see that I get the option here to say all networks, private networks, or only some networks if I want to limit it. So if I said only some networks, then it's going to allow me to add the networks that I want to have access to it. Or if I just say private networks, then it's only going to allow, as you saw over here, this private network area to be available. What I'm just going to say is all networks for my purposes, but you can limit that. And if I just hit cancel here, when you do that and limit it, if you just come up here to access, your custom access information would show over here. In fact, if I just hit the plus, you see that I can set up custom access for Profile Manager as well as remote administration, and then any other custom ones just in case I have other services running on my server. And you can see that I can also edit the networks in here as well. So just wanted to show you that that's available. So let's just go back into Profile Manager. Now, another thing that you'll notice here before we actually start the service is we do have these deployment programs. And so these are different programs that you can set up for Profile Manager. And what they do is they allow you to buy Apple devices and have access to certain services based on whatever deployment strategy that you're using. So if you're working for a business or a company, you could order an iPad, for instance, that would come with your profile already installed on it. So it is a nice feature, especially if you're in a business situation. As you can see here, we have Apple School Manager, so that if you are using these devices at a school, you can configure the school manager with the profile information so that you can use things like Apple Classroom and that sort of thing. You can also use Apple Business Manager. Again, if you own a business and you use Apple devices and you want your certificates on those devices, you can set up Apple Business Manager here by being registered for that. There's the device enrollment program, the same kind of thing. We'll enroll those devices into your certificate, and then volume purchase program for apps and books, where you can buy, an application once and then have a license to distribute it to, 30 people or whatever's in your organization. So each and every one of these can be configured in here depending on the deployment program or programs that you're using. In my case, I'm not going to configure those because I don't have those set up for myself personally. I'm hoping eventually to be able to show you Apple School Manager. We'll see if I get approved for that. But right now, I just wanted to let you know that that's what those are. And then down here, we can set up the settings for push notifications and assign your configuration profiles. So that's pretty much it. Those are all of the settings that we have in Profile Manager. So let's go ahead and start it. And I'm just going to hit start there. And what it's going to do is read the settings, and it's going to configure device management. And so we're just going to click on next. And in here, we can put our name and information. And so I'm just going to put in my name there, and I'll put in my email address. So we've got that. I could put a phone number and address in there as well if I wanted to do that, but for our cases, I'm just going to leave that alone. I just click on next. And so now I can choose a certificate to use. You can see I've got a local certificate authority that I could use. And so I'll just go ahead and use this one right here. And so again, it isn't signed. That's okay. We don't mind that. We're just going to say next. And so now what I need to do is set up push notification service. So I need to put in my Apple ID and password. So let me go ahead and put that in, and then we'll continue the installation. Okay, so now that I've got my Apple ID in there, I'm just going to click on next, and it's going to get a push notification certificate for me. And all I need to do is click finish to enable device management. So I'm just going to click on finish here, and it's going to set everything up. And then it asks me, do I want to change how my password is stored? So it relies, the authentication service requires storing the password in a less secure form. I can either skip it or change. Let's go ahead and say change, and now we're set and ready to go. Now what you'll notice is a number of things got set up for us. You can see the service is on right now. It's available on my local Mac right now for Profile Manager, so it's not available outside my network. I can show you how to set that up in a future screencast. And you'll notice down here that we have the device communication push notification certificate is all set up and ready to go. I got a green light right there. I could always come back in and reconfigure, or I can just click on sign the certificate profiles. And again, I just choose the certificate that I want to use, this code signing certificate for now. We're going to say OK. So now I've got that, and so now it will sign my various profiles just for added security. Now what you'll also notice down here is that my devices are opened up, so I can open that in Safari, and Profile Manager can be accessed as well. And I'm going to show you in detail what services are available there, but I just wanted to show you how to install this. Now one of the things you're going to notice is different right now is that Open Directory did not automatically get set up. You'll notice if I come up to Tools or View up here, you can see I do have Open Directory available in Advanced, but you'll notice that it did not automatically get set up, and that's because it's not a requirement now on Profile Manager. So if I'm just managing my own profiles for the users that I've got on the local machine, no problem. If I wanted to add other users, though, to manage that, then I would need to add an Open Directory to get that set up, or at least add the users in the accounts area here. And I'll go into more detail on that. But I just wanted to show you in the screencast that that's no longer a requirement, whereas in previous versions of Server, it would automatically set up Open Directory for you and create the certificate that you needed to run Open Directory. And then that Open Directory certificate would then apply over here to Profile Manager. So again, you can set this up by itself. Well, that's all I have for this week. I'll be back at you next week with another screencast to help you learn how to do more things with your Mac. If you're interested in help in setting up your own server, feel free to contact me at todd@toddolthoff.com.